Hey guys, welcome. Hey, I am sitting out here in front of Starbucks this morning to do my Tuesday training at 10, and it's probably going to be loud out here, so bear with that. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I've got a mic, and so hopefully it's got some noise canceling in it, so I hope that you'll be able to hear me okay. Let me know if you can hear me okay as you're tuning in. But today I want to talk to you about why evangelism is a, quote, dirty word. In other words, why don't we do evangelism? So I'm out here in front of Starbucks because I was meeting with a pastor here in this area that we've been working with for a number of years on their website and whatnot, and had a great meeting with him, and we talked a little bit about this subject. But before I get too deep into this subject of evangelism, I want to ask you a question. When I say the word evangelism, what comes to mind? What do you think of? Like, what kind of activities come to mind for you? So go ahead and type that in the comments, whether you're listening to this live or on the replay. Let me know what evangelism, like the first thought that comes to your mind when you hear evangelism, okay? So go ahead and type that in. And also let me know what city and state or country you are tuning in from, because I've been hearing from friends from all over the world, and so I want to see how far this video will be spreading out there. Okay. So what do I mean by why is evangelism a dirty word? What I'm talking about here is what I see is that as the Christian church in America today, we are not doing evangelism. Here's the first reason why I think that evangelism has become a dirty word. I think that most people, when they think about evangelism, they think about street evangelism, like actually going out into the street and saying to people, hey, do you know Jesus? Have you been saved? Hey, if you die tomorrow, where are you going to be tomorrow? If you die today, where would you be tomorrow, right? Things like that. And I think most of us have that type of picture of evangelism in our heads, and we're thinking, you know what? That's just awkward. I'm not going to do that. That doesn't seem like what a normal human being would say to people, right? And so we say to ourselves, you know what? If that's what evangelism looks like, I'm not going to do evangelism. But let me clue you in on something. That is one form of evangelism, and to me, in my way of thinking, that is the least effective way of doing evangelism. Now, not to say that people can't be effective in doing evangelism this way. I'm not saying that. But it seems to me like that is the equivalent of picking up the phone and cold calling somebody at dinner time, trying to sell an encyclopedia, or showing up at someone's door and knock on the door saying, hey, I want to sell you some Ginzu knives, right? Things like that. And so I think it's the same kind of thing. Let me interrupt your day because I have something that I want to tell you about. I want to tell you about this great product, this great service, or my God, right? And I'm doing it because he tells me to do it. So I'm going to go out there and do it. And I'm going to come back to my pastor and say, hey, listen, I made 5 new disciples today. And the pastor looks at you and says, hey, that's great. Where are they? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. They're out there somewhere just being disciples now. My point is, listen, if you talk to somebody for 15 minutes and you get them to realize that, okay, maybe they do need Jesus in their lives, and you get them to pray the sinner's prayer. This is like the typical evangelism thing, right? I'm going to, let's pray the sinner's prayer with me. And they pray that sinner's prayer. Now you're convinced that they now have become a follower of Jesus. And it took literally a 15-minute conversation to have that take place. I'm thinking, listen, how long is it going to take that person, or how long would it take someone else to convince them that they should follow some other life philosophy? 15 minutes or less, right? So to me, that is not what we should be doing as a church. What we want people to fall in love with Jesus, right? And we have to get people from where they are to realizing what it means to be a member of a church, what it means to fall in love with God, to fall in love with Jesus, to live a life that's based on love first, and how God's love and hope and peace and joy come in to that. That is our job. And so this is not necessarily going to be a quick, 5-minute process. It's not a 5-minute conversation. This may be something that you have to do over a month, 6 months, 2 years. It may take someone 10 years of introducing them to different aspects of who Jesus is before they really get it. It may take someone going through some big life event. Everyone's different. We can't assume that we can just go out there and talk to someone for 15 minutes and and they're going to become a follower of Jesus just like that. So so I think what I'm going to talk about next week is like, okay, well then, how do we do evangelism? To me, the definition of evangelism is telling friends about how to discover Jesus, right? So rather than walking up to someone and to say, hey, do you know Jesus? Introducing them to Jesus, right? And so maybe in the context of a local church, if you're connected to a local church and you're trying to do evangelism to try to expose people to Jesus through your local church, then what that looks like for you, I think, is to invite them to your church. But of course, your church has to be a place where that person can come in and feel welcomed and feel accepted and feel like, okay, I'm not currently a follower of Jesus, but I feel comfortable coming here and figuring that out. And is your church that kind of church? And so next week, what I'm going to talk about is why we don't invite people to church. So it's going to be kind of a follow along to this video. Is okay. That there are reasons why I believe we don't invite people to our churches, and so but before we can ever get to that, like, we got to get over the fact that evangelism doesn't have to look like street evangelism. Evangelism can simply be, how do I invite a friend to come to a place where they can discover Jesus for themselves? That's it. We're not trying to convert anybody. We're not trying to force people. We're not really trying to make disciples. Make disciples, it's kind of a bad phrase in terms of, we're not trying to force people to become disciples. And when you say make disciples, it's like you're the idea that you're trying to force people. So we're not trying to do that. We're trying to lead people along in this spiritual journey. Sometimes we just have to get out of our own way to do that. And so that's what this lesson is about. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know if you have any questions or comments. Look forward to speaking with you next week. And please, please, please share this video. Help me get the word out about the kinds of things that I'm trying to teach out there. This is valuable information for any pastor or church leadership. So if you know those kind of folks, please share this video with them. And I will be blessed, and so would you. And Rita, thank you so much for tuning in. You make my heart happy. Well, it makes my heart happy just hearing that. You see, sometimes a kind word is what people need to hear, you know. And so just a parting comment. When you go to church this Sunday, you see someone that you don't know, go up and say a kind word to them. Just get to know them, meet them, that kind of thing. That's what you need to be doing, church, okay? That's it for this lesson. We will talk to you guys next week, okay? God love you. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.